Hello, folks. This is Orlofori of the African Dream, your favorite human interest chat show. Today we're here with Brima Bob Dean. Brima, welcome to the African Dream.
Thank you so much.
It's a privilege to have you. Now, I'm telling viewers that Brima has a school, so let's have you talk about your school. What is it about?
Well, the name of the school is Salvation Academy. It was established in the year 2006 after graduation from the University of California.
Okay.
And
what did you study at the University of California?
I studied international business management. I came here as an executive, so I took an executive program in business management.
Right.
And then after graduation, I moved down to Virginia, and I've been here forever.
Nice. What's the name of your school once again?
Salvation Academy.
And what is Salvation Academy about?
Salvation Academy is basically a school that is established to help people not only to attend to the physical needs, but also to help them with some spiritual needs, and taking them from point zero to make them become part of the community and be responsible, help them to realize their God-given potentials.
What are some of the courses or subjects I can expect to study or find at Salvation Academy?
We have a kind of diverse programs. The reason is the program is designed for people who are destitute, people who are finding it very difficult to get finances to go to college.
Right.
So we have programs in healthcare. We have programs in information technology. We also have programs in private security. These are short-term courses that attend to the needs of people who want to get back to work as quickly as possible. What we've been doing the last 5-6 years, we work with the Northern Virginia Workforce Investment Board. This is a government agency that is designed to help people get back into the workforce. What they do is when people lose jobs and they are receiving unemployment compensation, they help them identify institutions that offer programs that can get back to work so they can get them off the compensation. So we are one of the service providers for the workforce. Students are sent to us. Our obligation is to make sure we work with those students and make sure they are able to find employment after graduation before we lose contact with them. And we've been doing that for almost 8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
Now, you spoke about the fact that you have a relationship with the Northern Virginia, workforce. They send you students to train and educate eventually so they could get back into the work system of the Northern Virginia area or wherever they might be coming from. Which leads me to my next questions. Are students outside of Northern Virginia welcome into your school? Can maybe someone in California or maybe outside of Northern Virginia study in this school?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, the Northern Virginia Workforce Investment Board has several programs, and one of the programs covers people that they refer to as dislocated workers. So, for example, somebody is being dislocated from California and sent down to Virginia, or maybe moved from California to come to settle in Virginia because they lost their job in California. The Northern Virginia Workforce help those people to settle. As a matter of fact, I have one student that just enrolled that the Northern Virginia Workforce sent to us. He's from Ohio, Columbus, okay. Ohio. And he's been here. He used to be a professor in Ghana. And now he's here, just don't know what to do.
Right.
And so when he went to the workforce, they gave him a list of schools, and he happened to select us. And he is so enthused, so excited to be here because that is how fast our program works. Because we train from anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months.
Right.
You understand? Our programs are short-term courses that make people get back on their feet as soon as possible. So this very student is really excited. He is getting ready to go to work, as fast as possible. And he's just wondering, I thank God I'm able to find school like
I know,
this.
right?
You know.
Tell us, how did you get to establish this institution? And for those of us who might be watching that, probably getting interested to, you know, come over and check you out, some of the questions behind their head is this a certified institution?
Oh yes, of course. We have been certified to operate by the State Board of Nursing, by Virginia Board of Nursing in 2008. And then we've been offering nursing programs that is being approved by the Board of Nursing, and we are on their list, and they recommend us to different agencies, and students go looking for schools on their websites, and they always find us, and we have very good recommendation from them, and we have good relationship with the Board of Nursing.
Now, the next question, not to cut you, certified, you are accredited?
We are in the process where there is a difference between certification and accreditation.
Right.
We are in the process of being, certified or authorized by the State Council of Higher Education, which basically will bring us to the next point of being accredited as a university. So we are in that process. We've been operating as a technical vocational institution. Our plan is to become certified and also receive a kind of status that will be worldwide recognition. So that's where we are right now.
Okay.
But we'll be operating with the approval of the State Board of Nursing and other privately accredited institutions, especially for the IT program.
Right.
We are certified by Cisco. We are certified by CompTIA, Microsoft. So all our IT programs are highly recognized globally. To answer your question for accreditation, we are in the process. We're just almost there to become accredited, in the United States. And we want to be able to utilize that accreditation to establish the same program in African countries, especially from my own country, Sierra Leone. I have already established the institution in Sierra Leone, and I'm hoping to use the same curriculum that we are using here in the United States in Sierra Leone. So, for example, if somebody take the practical nursing program in Sierra Leone, they come here, they will just be able to take the board exam because we're going to use the same curriculum that we're using here in the United States. So that is the plan of the school.
That's a good plan. Let's say I'm coming from wherever, either in Africa or I'm right here in the States, and I have this or that certification, whether in IT or in the healthcare industry or in the security industry, and I just want to go up further. I want to advance my certification to open myself up to more job prospects. Do you help with that?
The answer to that question is yes, because first, let me start by letting you understand what the Virginia Board of Nursing, for example, allow us to do. For nurses that are coming from, say, Sierra Leone or Ethiopia or Nigeria, these are registered nurses in their country. But when you enter the United States, it's very difficult for you to start working right away. So what we do, we have the authorization to be able to test the ability, the skills and the abilities of that student by giving them what we call a comprehensive exam. So the same exam that the student that came to school that take at the end of the program for them to graduate, we have such a standardized test that we give them. If they can pass that, what we do is we prepare them for clinicals. So once they go through the clinical procedures, they will be able to join the workforce. So instead of them, going over the whole class again, say for example, they want to start as a nursing assistant or a medication aid technician, as a registered nurse, it's frustrating for them to have to start from scratch as a nursing assistant. So we give them the opportunity to be able to prove themselves. So if they can take our test, by the way, our comprehensive test is harder than the state test. So if they pass that, then we can prepare them to take the state board exam so they can get started as fast as possible. So that's how we do.
That's interesting. while we were waiting for you to sit down with us to begin this interview, we had a short conversation with one of your students who told us about her experiences with the school. And the student we spoke to was Israel Eshete. She's just going to tell us briefly what she thinks about this school, how she got connected to it, and some of the things she's gained and experience from being associated with this school. Enjoy the video and we'll be back with you soon. Thank you.
My name is Israel. I'm from Ethiopia and I came here to specialize and I took A+ certification with them. And the school is really good. I was satisfied. Definitely, I recommend it. The teachers are good. They teach you the subject really thoroughly. I've seen it like for a few months till I get my certification. I took the classes and it's very good. They have all different kinds of subjects here. They have in health profession too. So their schedule really works good. If you have to work daytime, they have an evening classes and morning classes, midday classes. They have online classes also. They work with students very well. That's the best thing. They help students with financial problems. They're really good, I can say.
Welcome, folks. You're watching The African Dream. This is Earl Ofori, host and producer, and we're here today with Bob Brahim-Adine. You just saw a video of one of his students. Now, Bob, tell us about the student we just watched.
Israel was sent here by the workforce 4 years ago. She came into the IT program. She took the A+ class, she passed, and then she got a job, and she was gone. So we lost contact.
Right.
I think she's kind of a little tired with the IT, so she is more compassionate, so she wanna be able to help people more one-on-one.
Right.
So she decided to come back into the healthcare field. She's now enrolled into a program called Medication Aid Technician.
What is that?
That is a program that is being approved by the State Board of Nursing that certifies candidates to work in assisted living and even in hospitals, because I know our health system has started hiring these medication aid technicians. They are the one that administer medications for patients that basically are not totally, they don't need total care.
Right.
They can do most things on their own, but they need people to be able to administer their medication like insulin and stuff like that.
Right.
So those are the kind of job that they do. So as a matter of fact, from my understanding, is the healthcare institutions are using these medication aid technicians to pass medication instead of using practical nurses and registered nurses to pass medication, because it's cheaper for this institution. So the course is in high demand right now. Yeah, I have a class of about 9 students right now, and she's part of that class.
She had a lot of good things to say about her affiliation with you and the school especially. Now, she talks about the fact that you guys go out of your way to help the students also in their general, life. And tell us a little bit about that, because it seems like you're not just about academics only, but you're interested in your students' well-being and welfare. How do you do that?
Most of our students who don't qualify for government support find it very difficult to go through the programs financially. So we train them at no cost to them. But in order for us to continue providing such services, we help them to get into the workforce and expect them to be able to pay their tuition whilst they are working.
Gotcha.
So somebody can come to the institution without no money, but you are guaranteed admission, you are guaranteed employment. Once you get your employment, you can turn around and pay your tuition with no interest on it, and so we can continue to help other students in your similar situation.
So if you're watching this right now and you're probably out of job and you're trying to get back into the workforce and it's been difficult, or you're just interested in, say, maybe pursuing a career in the line of security or the healthcare industry, or, information technology, then see Bob Brahim-Adine. His website address is scrolling right there at the bottom of your screen. get in touch, contact them, and I'm sure they'll be glad to, help you out with whatever you need to get you back on your feet as far as getting employment is concerned. And Bob, you are originally from Sierra Leone in West Africa.
Yes.
How did you end up here in the USA?
I came from England to here. I left my country because of civil war. It's been a journey. I left the country. I used to work for United Nations High Commission for Refugees. We help a lot of Liberian refugees that came from Liberia cross over because of the civil war that was inflicted by Charles Taylor. And eventually, the war spilled over to Sierra Leone. So I have to become a refugee myself. So I find myself in a country called Gambia. The first time I left the country was in 1996 when Johnny Paul Koroma took over. I went to Guinea-Conakry, stayed there for a year, going to 2 years, and then we heard that the president at that time, President Tijan Kaba, said, all Syrians should come back to the country, the war is over. So we went back.
Right.
Took all our belongings and our businesses, went back, and for some reason, in 1999, we went back in 98. In 1999, on January 6th, that's a day that most Sierra Leoneans will never forget. It was devastating, and I barely survived.
What happened on that date?
On that day, that's the day that the rebels entered the city, the capital city, using humans as shield. So they stormed the country, they killed hundreds and thousands of people. I narrowly escaped a sniper shot after they devastated the city, and we were all out trying to find a way to hide. I went to the UN office to tell them, I have to leave. I don't think it's safe for me to continue to be here.
Right.
So they helped me with a little bit of money from what they were supposed to pay me. So I went to Gambia this time. Arriving in Gambia, I realized that there's so many Sierra Leonean refugees and even Liberian refugees that just didn't know what to do.
Right.
And so my experience with United Nations High Commission for Refugees, I was able to establish a training institution, which is actually the reason why I established Salvation Academy here. I established a refugee school in the Gambia and called over 500 refugees to come to school. Because the Geneva Convention never said that a refugee has to be in a camp before the UN can help them.
Right.
But the information that was broadcasted in the Gambia is all refugees should be in the refugee camp, which is over 200 miles from the city. Otherwise, the UN cannot help you. So I went to the camp myself, and I tried to help them understand that they can come to the city if they want to live in the city and want to be able to better their lives. So I was able to get most of the refugees from the camp come to the city. I went to England, came back with contracts from institutions in England who moderate courses, and I established the same exact program here in the Gambia. And we train hundreds of refugees and help them get into the Gambian community. Most of them traveled to England, some of them traveled to the United States, and most of them are so grateful whenever they find me here in the United States.
Right.
They are really, really, really thankful that they were able to meet me in the Gambia that helped them to even relocate to the United States.
Tell us about a success story with one of your students, whoever that may be, who had a lot of difficulty probably going through the course study that you provided back in the Gambia, how they survived that difficulty, graduated, and today are a success story. Someone that you always like to look at and say, hey, this is someone, I helped get to where they are, and I'm very proud of the efforts I put into this person.
I met a student here, a past student from Gambia. Her name is Mariam Akamara. She lives in New York right now. She heard about me here in Virginia. It was in 2005. When she heard about me, she traveled down here. She came. She was so grateful that she traveled from Gambia to the United States because of her admissions into the refugee school.
Right.
That's one thing. And so she found herself in the United States because of the school in the Gambia. And then she heard that the proprietor of the school is in the United States. So she left New York and came to Virginia. She stayed here for almost, I can say, 3 months, go through a course here again, and be able to go back to New York to work. So, I mean, it puts smiles on my face to see people in that kind of a situation who are so grateful, you know, when they remember where you all met and how you probably found each other in a foreign land, and the gratitude that they express, the smile on the face, and what they tell people that you've done for them. That's all we're really looking for. There's not much satisfaction that you can get more than what happened between me and this lady.
Thanks a lot for sharing. Now, folks, we're gonna watch a video that shows Brima interacting with people in his homeland of Sierra Leone, and it's also connected to what he does as far as the school is concerned. And we'll be back with you very soon. Enjoy.
God is good and all the time. And it's really, I'm so excited to be in this church today. I was looking for a church to worship today because I'm on transit, and thank God for Pastor Laka who get me in here. I'm here, I'm in Sierra Leone on a mission. I'm a Sierra Leonean, born and raised in Jala. I grew up with my brother here in the same house, you know, and because of the Civil War, I had the chance to travel to England, and then from England I went to United States, where I went to school. But what brought me back to Sierra Leone is because of the Ebola that devastated the whole country. I'm working for a company called the Salvation Academy. It is an institution that helps people who are destitute, people who do not have funds to go to school. So I was able to negotiate for the institution to establish in Sierra Leone. And so we were able to locate a building. Fortunately, the building that we got in Freetown is just right in front of Milton Magai College of Education at Congo Cross. And so we are able to get the building and set up the classrooms. We do classes in nursing. You know, one of the daughters of Pastor Laka said she wanted to be a nurse, and that's interesting because I've been teaching nursing for about 7 years in the United States. So we're doing nursing education, we're doing allied health education, we're also doing information technology, and we have what they call a private security training program. So all of these programs have been introduced in Freetown. And so for me to be here today, I think it is a divine appointment, especially for me to see brother. And for me to be in this church, it's interesting because the reason why they stopped me from getting on the plane doesn't make any sense. I should have gone, but I'm glad that I'm here. So when I was talking with Pastor Laka is the fact that I will be more than willing to add Lunge to our projects. Amen. You know, I want to be able to take this message back to the United States. I was telling Pastor Laka that for some reason, one of my pastor friends that we all work together in the team, he works with the federal government, and he's a Baptist pastor. Amen? His name is Pastor Leon Nicely. So for him to know that I was able to worship in a Baptist church, he will be more than happy. And next year, he's going to come with me to Sierra Leone. Yeah, I had a chance to go to several churches. I grew up in United Methodist Church. I went to UMC churches. I went to some evangelical churches. We are working with churches, just so you understand. So we want to be able to promote the gospel because we are living in the last days. And I know that you guys are doing a wonderful job. Whatever we can do to support you, we will do. And I understand you have classes all over the place. I don't know how God is going to do it, but I guarantee you, God give us the chance, we will establish the academy here in Lunge. Amen. Amen. That's all I have to say. Praise the Lord.
Welcome back to the African Dream. This is Earl Ofori, your host and producer. Today we're here with Brahma Bob, Dean of Salvation Academy here in the Northern Virginia area of the USA. He's originally from Sierra Leone, and he's been telling us about a school he has established to help people get back onto the workforce, but through accelerated courses and programs. Thank you for being with us here on the African Dream. We appreciate your time and the information you're sharing with us. Let's have you tell us, how do you finance this? Because I'm sure it takes a lot of finances to go into, making what you do happen.
For an institution to survive without finance is never there. You cannot survive without finance. However, as a non-profit organization, it's been a tough journey. You don't turn down people, and we've never actually received any grants, from the federal government, except the funds that come from the workforce. And that money, you only receive it after you work for it. All right.
You have to earn it.
Yeah, and we don't get as many students as we're supposed to get because of Northern Virginia Community College as a competitor.
Right.
There are other colleges because George Mason is there, Nova is there. So these are well-established institutions. So most of the student goes to them. So when we receive, for example, 3 students from the workforce, and according to the state regulations, we cannot have more than 10 students in a class. So we have space for 7,
right?
That don't have money. So we put them in there because no matter what, we had to teach this class anyways. After we finish teaching them, we're expecting them to come back and be able to help us continue the program, and some of them will disappear.
Right.
We not find them. So then we came to a point where we have to re-strategize. So in order for us to be financially stable, we decided to establish a profit-making company alongside the nonprofit. So if we don't get grants, we still don't turn away people. So when we train them, we send them to work through the institution that is established for profit, which is basically the healthcare industry, and the information technology, and the private security. So right now we're running like 3 companies together. And so for those who don't have finance, we will take them into the institution and train them at no charge to them, but we send them to work into the profit-making company so that whatever their tuition are, they will be able to pay that tuition back into the school so the school can continue to exist. So that is what we've been doing to be able to survive the turmoil.
Right.
We've been here for 10 years. We have seen school come and close. 3 schools have opened in my own lifetime in this country, doing exactly what we do, but they shut down because they just could not survive the financial difficulties that we go through. So we are very grateful to God. God has been really faithful to us. Some of the students, now let me tell you a story. Some of the students that go and just disappear and don't come back. I remember one day I was sitting, thinking, how am I going to be able to make this ends meet and that ends meet? And these students, they were a couple.
Right.
They both came to school. They didn't have money. We trained them and they just disappeared. So they both walked into the office that evening. And guess what? They pay all their fees, and on top of their fees, they donated to the school.
That's interesting.
And so we are so grateful that God touched the hearts of people to come back to rescue us at the nick of time. So that's why we are shooting to become a university right now, so we can attend to more people that don't have money to go to school, but they have a place that they know they can call home. They can come to school without paying for it, but they do know that once they graduate, they will come back and pay, so we can help more people that need such a help.
Thank you for being with us here on the African Dream.
Every day, all day, we rock this world like Bobby. We should understand the meaning of loyalty. She keep it 100 all day. I bet you know that's what a soldier needs. So I try to provide a need. They wanna run down, she run things. Because of that, step under the fiesta.
Yo, who go stay? Girl who will never play. I'm looking for a girl who go pray. Not about the pay. Girl who is here to stay. As independent as you are, you be my star. Feminine like a star. Yo, ni a chose yo.